Trump repeats harsh rhetoric and sit down with Tucker Carlson in final sprint to election day. So we're going to be talking about Trump's comments about Liz Cheney here. And I am actually going to defend Donald Trump. And it's not because of this song. It's not. That's not the reason. That's not the reason. Many might think, Hasan, at the top of the hour, you play this song all the time. And then you urge us to subscribe, even though you don't play ads anymore. You're just brainwashing us into vote por Trump, Donald Trump. Oh my God, I'm going to vote. I love that song. That song isn't even funny. It's not. It's a fucking banger. What are you talking about? It's not funny at all. It's just an absolute slapper, dude. If you catch yourself humming this fucking incredible tune when you're at a polling station come Tuesday, they will kick you out. I'm just letting you know. They'll say you are electioneering and they'll kick you out.
George, good morning to you. 4 days out from Election Day, Donald Trump making this swing out west, using increasingly dark and violent rhetoric against his political rivals. And this morning, he's promising to elevate Robert F. Kennedy Jr., someone who has pushed a range of conspiracy theories about vaccines to oversee public health agencies and women's health, too.
So I'm here for one simple reason. I like you very much, and it's good for my credentials with the Hispanic or Latino community. I love the Hispanics.
With just days to go, the former president also announcing...
Okay, he's just begging me to play the song, bro. He just begging me to play the fucking song. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it. Kaya, come here. Come here. Vote por Trump. Oh, my God. I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump.
2016, the leaders and heroes of the Republican Party were the Bush and Cheney families. Is it weird for you to see Liz Cheney, that'd be Dick Cheney's repulsive little daughter, running against you with Kamala Harris?
Well, I think it hurts Kamala a lot, actually. Look, she's a deranged person. The reason she doesn't like me is that she wanted to stay in Iraq. She wants to, you know, tough person. You know, people get killed all over. She's real tough, right? They're not the tough people. But the reason she couldn't stand me is that she always wanted to go to war with people. I don't want to go to war. She wanted to stay in Syria. I took them out. She wanted to stay in Iraq. I took them out. I mean, if it were up to her, we'd be in 50 different countries. And, you know, number one, it's very dangerous. Number two, a lot of people get killed. And number three, I mean, it's very, very expensive. That's why we owe $36 trillion. We go, you know, it used to be you go to war, to the victor belong the spoils, right? In other words, if you beat a country, you own that country, you take the oil, we go to war, we bomb the crap out of it, and then we leave. You know, it's almost like, what are we doing? What's going on? We bombed the whole Middle East, and then we left. What did we get? We got nothing. We destroyed. I mean, we bombed the hell out of everything. You know, when they took out Iraq for 1,000 years with different names, you had Iran and Iraq, similar powers. They were the two big ones. And for 1,000 years, they would fight each other this way, this way, this way, then they'd rest, this way, this.
I think it's wild that Trump nails the exact like dumb American guy's attitude about being anti-war, by the way, because he's like, you know, if you're going to go to war, you might as well steal all the resources, which we do, by the way, but Americans don't understand it. And they don't actually see the immediate benefit, the immediate material benefit of it, because like it's either going to the black budgets of the CIA in the terms of like the poppy fields in Afghanistan, or it's going to, you know, Western oil refiners, like the oil giants in the West, and that's not directly going into like American coffers, right? Yeah, we do extract the loot. It's just like privatized. But that right there is like a perfect way to claim anti-war. We're just bombing the Middle East and not even taking the loot. In terms of Liz Cheney, he's right. I'm actually going to point out once again how bad Trump has been in comparison to 2016, because the moment that Kamala Harris was like, oh, Liz Cheney is my GOAT, he should have been saying this. He should have been like nonstop at every rally, be like, Liz Cheney sucks. She wants to do endless war. I'm the peaceful candidate. I said it back then. I was like, this gives an incredible opening to the Republicans to present themselves once again as the anti-war candidates. Even though, you know, it's a lie. A friend brought this up to me, and I've never thought about it because I haven't seen any unclassified evidence for it. But do you think the part of the reason why we invaded Afghanistan and Iraq were because they're the countries directly the east and west of Iran, and the State Department wanted to invade Iran down the line? I mean, in theory, yes, that is absolutely true. That was the neocon pipe dream, which is like full scale invasion of. But Iraq was oil, for the record. It was far before anything else. Like Dick Cheney wanted to invade Iraq and take the sweet, juicy oil. But as far as like Iran, yes, destabilizing or maybe even full tilt invading Iran was always also for oil and has always been like the final crowning achievement of the neocons. That's why we say that Kamala Harris did not have to give any concessions to get Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney on board, because like this current Democratic administration is basically achieving that agenda, the dream of like active conflict with Iran. Can you give me counterpoints to use against my dad? His one issue is foreign policy. He believes Donald Trump is a peaceful dove type. Ask him why he destroyed the Iran denuclearization agreement, to which he's going to say, oh, but because it was bad. It was bad. Iran was supporting terrorism in the region. Yeah, except the best possible pathway forward was normalizing relations with Iran, which Donald Trump destroyed. It wasn't even a deal that America had put together by themselves. By the way, it was like multiple countries were involved in this deal. It took years and years to get to this point. It was probably the signature achievement towards having like better relations with Iran in general in the region. And Donald Trump cast it aside, either the Abraham Accords, which again sidestepped the Palestinians and made them realize understandably that they were not a part of this process whatsoever. So as the Israeli occupation continued and greatly accelerated under the Trump administration, October 7 became an inevitability. Donald Trump has played a massive role in October 7. Joe Biden has played a big role in October 7 as well. In the buildup to October 7, he could have changed American foreign policy trajectory, but he did not.
I was very critical of her father for years. I'd never met him, but I'd say anybody that went into the Middle East I thought was stupid. And they say convinced Bush, he was another beauty. But he supposedly convinced Bush to go in, him, Bolton, and some other lightweights, convinced them to go in. Let's go into the Middle East and destroy the whole place and kill millions of people. So they went in. But I was never a fan of Cheney. I was always very critical. And when I announced that, I was very critical, actually, not personally, but I said, he made a horrible mistake. What are these people doing?
Despite the fact that War and Cheneys are evil, does Trump making the argument that Liz Cheney should be shot by a firing squad give you the slightest pause? No, I think the Trump statements about the enemy from within and how he's going to sick the military on them is significantly worse. I think the argument that he was presenting about Liz Cheney here is a classic 2016 era Trump, where there's like a level of plausible deniability where he's like invoking a firing squad when he's describing something else. He's saying that like Liz Cheney and those others aren't brave. Our soldiers, our military members are actually brave. Liz Cheney doesn't know what it's like to be in the crosshairs. Like she doesn't know what it's like to be deployed, which Trump doesn't either, by the way. He's a draft dodger. But like the argument there is not about like, you know, putting Liz Cheney in front of a firing squad and killing her. What he's obviously contextually trying to say is that like Liz Cheney would be singing a different tune if she actually was personally involved, as in if she actually was forced to, you know, serve in the military. He was trying to say politicians should serve in the front lines. Exactly. And he phrased it in a weird way. And I think the deliberate way he phrased it, he weirdly phrased it on purpose so that he could have like discourse run amok about how, you say draft dodger like that's not base? No, it is. It's the best thing he's ever done. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Zach Beauchamp is right. Folks, Trump didn't threaten to execute Liz Cheney. He actually was calling her a chicken hawk, something liberals have said about her for ages. Look at the context. Trump is talking about giving her a weapon. Typically, people put in front of firing squads aren't armed. What is a 9-barrel comment for it if not a nod at a firing squad? You sound like such a jackass. The simple thing that candidates shouldn't graphically fantasize about opponents getting shot in the face, regardless of whether larger context or the point they're making is not complicated. Matthew Dowd, Lord have mercy. You know exactly what Trump meant and what he has said previously. Just stop. Yeah, I don't really care. Like, it's obvious that he phrased it like an insane person because he probably does fantasize about Liz Cheney getting shot in the mouth in a firing squad style situation. But it's also very obvious that within the context of that conversation, he's saying that she is a chicken hawk. Having said that, yeah, liberals getting mad at this is so stupid because Liz Cheney is a goddamn demon, okay? And so is Dick Cheney. Like, what the fuck are we doing? We're defending Liz Cheney's honor now. Well, we're well actuallying him. No, I just don't give a shit. I don't give a shit at all because Donald Trump has used so much violent rhetoric. This is another one of those instances. And also, I think like Dick Cheney being shot for treason or whatever the fuck this dipshit is fantasizing about is like the least consequential violent thing he's said. Like, does that make sense? Like, this motherfucker talks about rounding up every single brown person, dude, and putting him in concentration camps. Like, you think I give a fuck about Liz Cheney?
And then I announced I was running, and I was shocked that he was one of the first people. He endorsed me immediately. I said, that's amazing. But he had something that was very interesting. He had Scooter Libby. I mean, these are little stories that are interesting. Scooter Libby was a man that could have done great destruction to Bush, and they left him behind. He was given to the prosecutors. They prosecuted him rather violently, and he was almost like a sacrificial lamb. And as somebody that knows a lot about what's happening, I said, you know, if I were ever president, I'd do something with that guy. That guy got treated very badly, Scooter Libby. And when I became president, I actually called Dick Cheney. I said, let me ask you about Scooter Libby. He was best friends. He was begging Bush to give Scooter Libby a pardon, but Bush didn't have the courage to do it. You know, it takes courage to give a pardon. And Scooter Libby was pardoned. I gave him a pardon. And I never met Scooter Libby, by the way. Never talked to him before that. And I got a call from Scooter Libby after I did that. He broke down in tears, thanking me so much. And then Cheney called me, and he said, that was so incredible what you did for Scooter Libby, because he was really on Scooter Libby's.
Who gives a fuck about Scooter? Man, shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ. Bragging about pardoning neocons, is this your king? Yeah, like, I don't give a fuck about no Scooter Libby, bitch. Shut the fuck up.
And then we're running against her. It's actually not fair to him. It's really not fair to him. That's no way.
Oh my God, they're saying who cares?
He's got the right. Who cares? who said that? That's a great line. Who the hell said that? That's great. He goes, I'm going, you know, I've become such a nice guy all of a sudden. I say, it's not fair to him. And this guy shouts out, who cares? Who the hell cares?
He still got it. He handled that expertly. Straight up, I'll say it. He took a naysayer and turned it into praise, basically.
President Trump, you said last night you essentially let Robert F. Kennedy Jr. do whatever he wants with healthcare.
Well, he's going to have a big role in healthcare.
HHS, maybe?
In fact, we just left. In fact, I think he might be here.
He's right,
You're comfortable with his views on vaccines, Mr. President?
We'll be talking about a lot of things, but he's going to have a big role in healthcare, a very big role.
Is it HHS, maybe?
He knows it better than anybody.
Yo, we're so cooked, dog. We're so fucking cooked. I think it's crazy that RFK is within striking distance of like just destroying what remains of the American medical structure. Okay, I can't begin to explain to you how fucking insane this shit is. Trump receives plaque promoting peace from Arab American leaders.
President Trump, you said last night you essentially let Robert F. Kennedy Jr. do whatever he wants with healthcare.
Well, he's going to have a big role in healthcare.
HHS, maybe?
In fact, we just left. In fact, I think he might be here.
He's right,
You're comfortable
HHS.
with his views on vaccines, Mr. President?
We'll be talking about a lot of things, but he's going to have a big role in healthcare, a very big role.
Is it HHS,
He
maybe?
knows it better than anybody.
Yo, we're so cooked, dog. We're so fucking cooked. I think it's crazy that RFK is within striking distance of like just destroying what remains of the American medical structure. Okay, I can't begin to explain to you how fucking insane this shit is. Trump receives plaque promoting peace from Arab American leaders.
Let me share a couple of words. Let me share a couple of words for our president, for our future president and former president, Mr. Donald J. Trump. A wise man once said, Peace is the prize, and I stand before him today. As Arab Americans, we unite against the betrayal of those in power. Our families back home suffer, their cries for help echoing across borders, while the world remains silent.
Dude, what a thing. What an insane thing. He is doing more. The Muslim man president is doing more aesthetically to like at least make it seem like he gives a about Arab voters than the Democratic Party is. Democratic Party is like actively trying to push away Arab voters while he's over here being like, yeah, I'll come over. I'll let you fuckers, you fucking barbarians, talk to me. I'll be in your presence. You can say he uses Palestinian as a slur till the fucking cows come home. It does not matter. Not only is it the Democratic Party that's currently conducting the genocide in Israel, but also on top of that, like, guys, since the election is heated up in the last like 4 or 5 days, I haven't talked about this much, but like Israel killed 92 people yesterday. Like Israel's killing like 100 people every day in Gaza, in North Gaza specifically. And I don't think these guys are like honest people. I'll say it. I don't think these are honest brokers at all. This is a striking moment, but it isn't a damning moment for Muslim and Arabs, as many Americans may think it is. It's the sign of a demise of the Democratic Party, even in its ability to maintain optics. And optics are a core of politics. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and the Democratic Party have refused to even share a stage with Arabs, Muslims, Palestinians, not even for the sake of optics or for the sake of electoral interest. Instead, Harris and her party has chosen to castigate and marginalize Arabs and Muslims who overwhelmingly vote Democrat at every single turn. These men with Trump are a handful of Muslim Arab leaders out of millions of Muslims in the country. Not all Arabs are Muslim, and not all Muslims are Arab. And between these communities is a vast spectrum of politics and political engagement. Muslim Arabs have endorsed Jill Stein and third-party candidates. And over 150 imams, clerics in a letter. Muslim Arabs have endorsed, supported Harris, Zogby, Mgage, Mehdi Hassan, uncommitted Ish. Black Muslims have been on both sides of this. Our communities aren't monolithic. There is no doubt that overwhelmingly Arab and Muslim communities are against the U.S.-backed Israeli genocide of the Palestinians, and it's safe to say that almost every single Muslim and Arab filling out a ballot will be thinking about Gaza, but many will not even be going to the ballot box. Anyway, the question of voting for a party actively overseeing the genocide aside, the Democrats have given absolutely nothing to voters, Arab, Muslim, and to others, to show that they even want to pretend to care. Instead, they kick out Muslims from Harris rallies and yell, I don't give a fuck about Gaza and babies. Trump did the easiest thing to the Democrats, and Harris couldn't. He welcomed some Arabs and Muslims to share the stage with him. He embraced them. The Democrats, Biden and Harris, have categorically refused to. The narrative has been and will continue to be that Arabs and Muslims are supporting Trump. That isn't true. Our communities are pushing against the genocide of our people. Some in our communities are choosing to side with current genocidaires. Some are choosing to side with future genocidaires. But the majority are choosing to stand against both. Like Donald Trump is not, he's not going to be fucking pro-Palestine. Let's be real. Not a cult. Look at this shit. I did see this shit. This is awesome. It's awesome because one of the kids is the shooter. What the I'm sorry, and I don't mean to sound heartless when I say this. If sheer representation on a conservative stage is enough to flip the vote from genocide to genocide, that's dumb shit. Well, if there's only two options and one party is actively pushing away Arab voters and the other party is at least aesthetically trying to court voters, what the fuck do you expect from voters to see? Like, I don't think it's correct. I think it's fucking silly, but you're out of your mind. You shouldn't be angry at the voters in this situation that you have perceived as like voting out of turn or some shit. You should be yelling at the Democratic Party for actively pushing away Muslims and Arabs and people who care about Gaza. I can't help but notice that liberals' immediate like voters are the problem, not the party. Attitude has come back super strong with only a couple days out from the election. Campaigns need to earn people's votes. That is the underlying principle of democracy. I think it's pretty nutty though that Donald Trump is like taking the time out to even aesthetically look like he gives a shit about Arabs or Muslims alike. Maybe your chatters don't know what's happening in northern Gaza. People are desperate for sake. They'd vote for Satan if he gives them a false promise. The Democratic Party ain't even willing to throw them a bone. Northern Gaza is literally a Holocaust zone right now, and Lebanon is losing journalists, firefighters, ambulance workers, and doctors. Yeah. The Washington Post did a visual forensics analysis on Israel's actions in South Lebanon. I was sent this directly by one of the journalists who worked on the project. Turns out nearly a quarter of all buildings in Lebanese towns and villages near the Israeli border have been damaged or destroyed, the vast majority since Israel's October 1st invasion, according to an analysis of satellite data by Washington Post. Across Lebanon's border villages, at least 5,868 buildings have been left in ruins, 80% of them since the invasion began. In some places, such as the villages of Aita al-Shab and Kfar Kila, nearly half of the structures are gone. Many village centers have been erased. I mean, come on, dude. What the fuck do you expect? And it's not just Arabs who care about this shit. There's like white people who care about this shit too. I know that a lot of the messaging on this issue has been like, oh, Arabs are of one mind. It's only Arabs. It's only Arabs. It's not only Arabs. There's plenty of young people who will not go out and vote because of this reason. Yeah, Israel has a right to defend itself. Once again, Israeli soldiers from the 202 paratroopers battalion wearing clothes of displaced Lebanese women. What is up with this shit? Why did they do this like freakish shit? I don't understand. Like, at no point do they ever like look at themselves and go, hey man, we're doing bad guy stuff. Like, this is bad guy shit. I've been in 4 wars as a soldier. Oh, this guy interviewed me before, remember? As a soldier or a reporter, and I've seen a lot of atrocities and abuses, but dressing up in the clothes of the women and girls you've killed or displaced is sick and twisted practice, wholly unique to murderous perverts of the Israeli army. Oh my God. What the fuck? Dude, that's... Bro, this guy is a Rolling Stones writer, dude. What the fuck? Pretty sure American soldiers did this too, by the way. I'm just saying. This shit's making it to the history books? Depends. The reason why I say depends is because, you know, history is written by the victors. Bro, what the fuck? Israeli occupation soldiers have shared a photo of a D9 bulldozer decorated with toys belonging to displaced or killed Palestinian children while they were wreaking havoc in Gaza. I mean, this is barbaric. I don't know how else to... Like, it's so wild because this is like pure barbarism, right? This is the type of like depravity that defenders of Israel associate with their enemies, okay, with Arabs as a whole. And then they do this kind of stuff. But because of the way we analyze states versus non-state actors, allies versus foreign adversaries, here in the United States of America, this kind of shit doesn't like breach the public consciousness. For the most part, like they don't look at this kind of stuff and go, oh, this is gross. Like, what the fuck? You were a bad guy. You were doing Nazi shit. Like, this is exactly the kind of depravity that we heard about with the Nazi regime and the actions of the Nazi regime. You can call me a terrorist every fucking damn day of the fucking week. You can call me anti-Semite for calling out these atrocities all day, every day. But you can't change the reality. People that see this stuff are going to be like, this is insane. Taking out a fucking Twitch streamer here and there, or a podcaster, or scaring, like doxing a college student into submission is not going to somehow make you sleep comfortably at night. If these are the kinds of atrocities that you see and you justify, I'd rather, as that chatter is correct, I'd rather be called a terrorist than called complicit in this kind of behavior. It's disgusting. I get that Dems are fumbling this issue, but if voters are suddenly have amnesia about Trump's Islamophobia and fall for these aesthetics, they're actually fucking dumb and should be shamed for it. I'm tired of infantilizing stupid voters. Yeah, I don't think this is a minor disagreement over like what level of marginal harm you are allowing undocumented migrants to experience. Like, you're talking about people whose immediate family members are being murdered with their tax dollars and they have nothing. It's an act of desperation, you know? I don't agree with it at all, but you know, be a little bit more understanding of the situation. And then anger is appropriate in this circumstance, by the way. Being angry is appropriate, but you should be angry at the Democratic Party for not even aesthetically trying to say, no, you guys are a part of our coalitions. That's crazy to be like, yeah, these people. How dare you? I mean, what do you mean, these people? Like, oh, they're so fucking stupid. It's like, no, they're not. They're actually pretty smart in the sense that they respond to what the Democratic Party is saying. The Democratic Party has actively communicated that you are not a part of the coalition to so many of these people. If they're smart enough to know Harris isn't doing enough, they should be smart enough not to support Trump either. Once again, the bar is lower for Trump than anyone else. Okay. I think you're misunderstanding a key point here. I don't agree with those guys, but also I understand how politics works, and it seems like Democrats do not. If one side is at least aesthetically saying, I care about you, I will defend you, and the other side is saying, suck my dick, then how can you fault the people for going, well, okay, I'm not going to go with the suck my dick party. Get mad at the right people. Do not get mad at the fucking voters. Get mad at the party. Meet the Republican women not voting for Trump.
I will not be voting for Donald Trump, but I haven't decided to vote for Harris.
I'm joyfully, genuinely.
Like, what the fuck, lady? What are you talking about? Listen, if you find genocide to be a red line, I get it. But like, is that what her analysis is here? Maybe. Maybe she's going to be like, super based. I don't know. We'll see.
I will not vote for Trump again, and I'm undecided about Harris.
In this election, just like 2020, suburban women are in the spotlight. And in the affluent outskirts of cities like Phoenix in Arizona, it's Republican women in particular who are huddling together, agonizing over iced tea. And the big question, should they vote with their conscience and ditch Donald Trump, or stay loyal to their party? You'd think the decision would be easy. Of course, the big choice, Trump or Harris, couldn't be more stark. And what's striking is the fear they all articulate about the future.
I don't see, well, really, I don't. I mean, I can't even imagine that former President Trump would be our president again.
End of days for you.
It's end of days for me.
Yeah, I'm petrified. That sounds a little extreme, but that we could be in a civil war of sorts.
So Lisa poses a question of her own.
So as an opportunity to the two of you who have not decided yet, if you do choose to undervote and not vote for Trump or Kamala, and Trump is elected, will you look back and regret the undervote?
I don't like either option, though I do have to say, I do actually think she's a decent human being. I really cannot say that about Donald Trump.
It is the hardest presidential race I'll be voting in, even though I find him so repulsive and can't vote for him. It's, will I go the other way?
Will she? Can she vote for Kamala?
Dude, I'm done. I'm done with old white ladies, bro. I'm sorry. You're done. It's over. Except for my mom. She's still great. And my grandma. But all these other older white ladies, they're done in my book. It's like, what do you want? What the do you want? It's not like you're like the only thing you care about is aesthetics and optics and civility. And like Kamala Harris gives you that tenfold. Like she's actively targeting her campaign specifically for you. And you're still sitting there over there being like, I don't know. I don't know if I'll vote for Kamala. It's like, what the do you want? I despise you. You are such a dumb fuck. Like, what do you want? She literally has tailored her entire campaign specifically to capture the attention of that dumb asshole. And she's still like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what more Kamala Harris could do. I guess maybe run as a Republican. Like, is that what it is? Because I don't think they're anti-Zionist. You know what I mean? I don't think they're like, yeah, I find it really unconscionable to vote for a genocide or some shit. Like they don't have valid claims. Like if they had any sort of like serious valid claims, I would be like, all right, like let's hear them out. I really thought personally that like white feminists would get activated on this issue of abortion because it like directly impacts their bodily autonomy. It turns out some white women were like, feminism, I don't care. I'm white. As long as I get to have like the racial superiority, I don't give a f. That's what's so frustrating. It's like you can't win these people over. Meanwhile, I'm sure you got hella young voters, black voters, brown voters, Arab voters that are just like, please just give me hope that you will be human, that you see me as a human being, that you will not spend unlimited dollars in Israel doing genocide everywhere. And it's like, nah, you, suck my dick. I want Deborah. I want Deborah real fucking bad. I want Barbara and I want Deborah. And it's like Deborah and Barbara are sitting there are like, this campaign, I know that they've tailored their entire messaging strategy around capturing my attention, but I still am undecided. Yeah, they're white first, women second, I guess.